Hi, everybody. Thanks for tuning to another episode of The Spiritual Scientist. I'm Victor. Thanks for checking me out. So, today I'm not driving, obviously, here, and I'm going to talk about this big Mandela Effect. And I'm just going to be brave and talk about it because, when you do these kind of things, you open yourself up to ridicule, and, people say you're crazy, say you're insane, whatever. I'm not afraid to tell the truth as I see it. So, this one, and I'm going to tell you what I think about it afterwards. This one to me is huge. John Lennon from the Beatles. Now, was Beatles was Beet. Beatles with two E's, and Beatles is now the way it's spelled, so that's a Mandela effect for some people, and they found both spellings in each. For this one, for me, I just noticed it. It's John Lennon, Lennon. Now, for me, yesterday, it was John Lennon. It was always Lennon. It wasn't Lennon. I don't know who John Lennon is. I know who John Lennon is. So for me, it was always one N, not two N's. And I got to, thinking about it. And going through another theory about Mandela effects. And whether you think this is a Mandela effect or not, doesn't really matter. I started thinking about things and how in narratives and thinking in, all these things. Let's discount the idea of multiverse. Let's just take that off the table for now because that never really jived with me. But as I'm being objective and looking at everything, if we look at this all as a narrative, and what do I mean like a narrative? It'd be like a story, So in a story, let's say a movie. When you're watching a movie, or let's say a computer program, you would have a computer program playing, and then you want to save it. So where do you save it? You have to save your computer program's going, and then a dramatic event occurs, and you want to save it there so you could, go back and then go forward, right? So there's a save spot. So when you're playing a computer game, there's a save feature. And when you hit the save button, I guess, it would have some kind of stamp on that. So if we're in a computer game and you have a save, then Lennon, being Lennon or Lennon, that would be what I'm thinking of as a tie down. So that's like the save. That's like the reality setting. So before it goes up to that, it's one way, and then the computer program would read from there forward and would say, okay, everything before that is this timestamp. So that would be the past, and then the future would be this timestamp with Lennon. Now the Denzians of the narrative of the game would not be obviously aware of that because they're programmed not to be aware. That's just the way it is. So why would they be aware of one way to being it to another? I guess you could, from who was ever doing the narrative, why would they be, the people in it? You would just think of them as, I don't know what you would think about it, but I guess they wouldn't care, maybe. The other thing is, I think they wrote code, and then everybody who thinks, when it switches to the save part, when it moves forward, what I'm saying is, I think everybody just goes with it, and then some of us can have the ability to see these changes because they are not reformatted. Okay, so when we have a save, I think this today, when John Lennon changed with two N's, I think it has to do with Trump being impeached for the second time. So what I'm saying is that that would be a narrative within the storyline that's worth, that's a save point. So that would be important for us to be, to save at that point. And that way, everything, before he was impeached can be, I guess, replayed and done a different way and done, different ways and see how that works. And then I guess that would be an endless supply of entertainment. And then if you're at the passive point, then you have another, way to, look at that. So we have, this is an important event in human history that no president has ever been impeached twice by the Senate. So that would get a save. So there's been other important, events where there was within the narrative that there was places to save. I suppose there was one with the Kit Kat Dash, and there was something else with Jim Carrey, his last name. So all of those things would be, a save. Now, why would it have to do with celebrities' last names? I guess that this is something that is being examined in the simulation. It's something that one of the save points could be what I'm saying. What I'm saying is it feels that way. It feels like you get the feeling that this is the way. So it's like a tie down. So it's tying down the narrative to future subset. So that's my idea that I'm just coming up with now, almost as I'm speaking with you. But I saw this and I said, what has this in correlation with as a higher dimensional thinker? What would that be in relation to reality right now? Why would that change? And Trump being impeached, in narratives, in thinking patterns. So I think, why would reality change? Why would reality change because somebody's hitting a save point? Seems pretty logical. Now, it doesn't discount anything else I'm talking about, and I reserve the right to reformulate my hypothesis and data and change my idea at a future date. But it seems to me a very logical way to look at it from a linear perspective, looking at it from a higher dimensional perspective, and looking at, if we use this side of the screen as the past, and as you move forward into the future, you would have some kind of an event happen and you'd have a save. So you'd have certain saves for certain incidences within it. Now, that might not count for all Mandela effects. That might just count for larger narratives where you have big things like this. Then you would use a celebrity's name. Now, I'm not saying it's all simplified. I'm saying it's complicated. So there's other Mandela effects that might be occurring for different things. Maybe you're backing up something. Maybe you're changing a file. As you communicate with, as communications are sent, it's ones and zeros. So a lot of people are seeing, numbers all the time, sequential numbers, when higher orders of magnitude of things are occurring. So it kind of, works out that way. Now, I'm not saying that, and I reserve the right to change my idea. So this is just something I was like occurred to me that it seems like, and I want to say this word again, a tie down, like a reality tie down. Like, for instance, when a spell would happen, a spell, like imagine a spell. So you know, like a wizard or witch or whatever throws a spell, and then, you know, it moves through reality and it kind of leaves its footprint. It's kind of like that idea where it's tying down to something and it's moving through. I think that the strength of the tie down correlates with the fact that people see Lennon, Lennon, and they think it's that way. What I mean to say is, I think for most people will see the name John Lennon from the Beatles, and they'll see Lennon, and that would look normal to them now, and that totally makes sense, and that's the way it's always been. And I think that belief allows it to tie down for the new narrative. So for a new narrative, for somehow that interfaces with it. So it could be that we have now, you know, Donald Trump is impeached for a second time. So that knowledge, that data point correlates, what I'm saying, to, it could be that way, it correlates to the double N in Lennon. So for some reason, these things are tied together, and I'm working out why with you live. So, well, live for me, recorded for you. So it seems to be like the word tie down keeps coming to me. Like, it's a tie down. It's tying down reality for people. It's a new awareness, a new, you know, what we did as a light worker, what the word is, you know, it's a light code. So when you get a light code, you get that new awareness, you get the new thing. It's, you know, changes reality. It's a stamp. It's stamping it. I do think it has something to do with simulation theory, but I can't say that that's certainly the case all the way. But it definitely seems like it's a tie down. So I wanted to, you know, you could comment and let me know what you think. But I definitely think I'm onto something here, and I think it's a tie down, if that makes sense. I think it's tying down reality for a new paradigm of ideas. So before Trump was elected, impeached, excuse me, for the second time, it was Lennon, Lennon, John Lennon. I know it, you know, it's a fact. You know, for you it's not, that's fine. That's fine. You can say I'm crazy, it's fine. I appreciate that, you know, for some people, and I'm on it, I appreciate that a lot of people see it one way, and I appreciate that people see it the other way. It, you know, and we talk about different, you know, people say different reality streams or whatever. I think it's different, you know, narratives. So if you're from if you have a recall from the previous narrative, you know, then you're going to recall it, you know, one way. If your memories are affected because you're going with the new paradigm of the new narrative, then you're having the Lennon. For instance, you know, now for people, just saying it, now for everybody going forward, there's been a president that's been impeached twice. Two ends. So that's what I'm saying to you. So now there's been a president impeached twice. So now we have two ends in John Lennon. So the narrative correlates to the fact that Donald Trump is impeached. That would lend itself to a footnote within our storyline, within our reality, that now Lennon has two ends. Now, we might have some occurrence, and I'm just spitballing here, obviously, that something happened for the second time, And maybe that would be something that if something happened for the second time and it's a big event, then maybe somebody's celebrity or something changes, and they have two letters added somewhere in the middle of their name. Now, like Carrie, maybe there's some thing in the world when we don't have these timestamps. Most of us don't notice these Mandela effects occurring in real time. You get it later. This one I happen to see, and for me, I see Mandela effects as I understand it in real time. I think a couple of people feel that they do that as well, and some people are playing catch up. That's fine, whatever. What I'm saying, and all time is relative. Don't start me. So what I'm saying is that it seems like the double impeachment of Trump has to do with John Lennon with two N's. And that would make sense. Maybe the N's are for naughty. Naughty, naughty. You get two N's in John Lennon. We're going to have to figure out which celebrity name do we need to put two N's in. I know, John Lennon, because he was naughty twice. Kind of in a crazy way makes sense, right? So I just thought I'd throw that out there and talk about this, because this is to me, this is a huge Mandela effect. Because obviously, I was a musician, into the Beatles, into all music, and I always knew it as Lennon. But when I saw Lennon, I just saw it. I took a picture in a magazine at the grocery store, and I sent the picture to a couple people. I said, "Do you see anything different?" They're like, "No." So, I don't think that a lot of people are going to see this change, and maybe I'm the only one. Maybe I'm crazy. That's fine. I'm okay with everybody thinking I'm crazy. What I'm not okay with is not sharing the truth and telling you about it. So anyway, like, subscribe, share. Let me know what you think, and let me know if you think if your idea is multiverse theory for the Mandela effect, or if you think it's more like what I'm saying, like a tie down. And then you could give me a thumbs up if you agree with this being a new Mandela effect, or give me a thumbs down if you think it's not a new thing and you always knew it. Lennon always had, John Lennon always had two N's in his name. So to me, that's freaky. Anyway, like, subscribe, share. If you have, if you want to make it rain, if you want to throw some money my way, I do accept PayPal. I could send you a link. If you're interested, you could comment. But Victor HMSA is my website. And you could, a lot of people, get scared about Mandela effects. They get nervous. It freaks them out. And I get attacked a lot because of it. Because they're scared. So I understand you're scared and you want to lash out. You want to tell somebody that your reality is normal and that person's insane and this is a crazy person. So I'm going to attack them. I attack this individual. I'm going to say bad things about them, and I get constantly attacked and especially on the internet or YouTube or whatever it is. People think they're anonymous, so then they can just lash out and from their fear or ignorance, But I would say I try to hold myself to a higher standard, so I think a lot of my viewers are holding themselves to a higher standard. So I would ask that, people who comment, just try not to use swear words, dirty words, and try to be constructive and work through this process, and don't let fear override your narrative. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like, subscribe, share. I love you all. Peace out, Cub Scouts. All right, bye-bye.